Hello everybody, hope you're well. My name is Reza, and at this session I would like to talk about one of the muscles of our back muscle group. Latissimus dorsi, or short name called lat, is the flat, large and a broad muscle covers mid and lower part of our back. This is the one that public called the wings, and it creates our V shape because it looks like a V. For those of you who especially train for the bodybuilding or fitness, and you can see the one that gives you the V shape is this muscle. Beside this muscle, there is another small muscle called Teres major, which mostly the movements that this muscle has is very similar and to the Latissimus dorsi, and it's like a synergy muscle for most of the movements that this muscle creates. In my previous video regarding the shoulder joint, I went through different movements of this joint. At this session, I'm going to tell you what movements and function this muscle particularly has, and by knowing that, you can make sure when you're doing the exercises which is related to the back muscle group, you can isolate and target this muscle better. So let's go through the anatomy chart, and I'll show you how the origin and insertion of this muscle is. This muscle on the thoracic section of the spine starts from T2, which is around this area, and goes all the way from T12 to L5. So as you see here, this white area, which are the tendons, this is all the lat tendons. So from here, this is the origin, and this one, which is your iliac, and the sacrum in the bottom, and all the way goes to the humerus, which is the hand bone. So this movement, this insertion will allow these muscles to have multiple movements, and in the shoulder joint body movements, which I explained, this muscle plays very important roles of most of the movements. So let's look at what movements this muscle particularly can make. One of the major movement of this muscle, Latissimus dorsi, is the shoulder extension. So shoulder extension was the one that I explained to you. From here it goes all the way down. So this movement is one of the major movement of Latissimus dorsi. So shoulder extension. So this lat muscle pull the weight down, and by doing that you can contract these muscles. The other one is shoulder adduction. So here toward the midline. So you see that shoulder adduction, shoulder extension. These are the movements of the Latissimus dorsi, or that V-shaped muscles. The other one is shoulder internal rotation. So we don't usually do this exercise on the volume that we do with the other exercises, in terms of, for example, if you want to just give your muscles a bigger size or make it more stronger. We usually for this particular muscles, we usually spend time on the other exercises, like the extension exercises or the adduction exercises. But this is also one of the function of these Latissimus dorsi muscle, as you see, the internal rotation. If you look at my video for the pectoralis major, the chest, you can see also this is the similar movement that pectoralis major does. Again, you may think, okay, like how come this muscle and the back muscles, they both do the same thing? The insertion of the muscles are both on the humerus, which is this big bone. So this is allow them to have very common movements in such cases. But if I want to just give you an example, like, okay, what is this extension? So what exercises we do? So you may have seen the cable pull down. You know that, like, you have the cable and you push it down through your thigh. This is one of the exercises that is good for the Latissimus dorsi. Or when you do the adduction. So what is the adduction? This is anatomically called shoulder adduction in the kinesiology, but what you do in the exercise is this. You see, this is also adduction. So shoulder adduction, shoulder adduction. So the similar movement is lat pull down. So when you have this, this is shoulder adduction. So this is very important to understand how you can match these anatomical body movements to the exercise. And that's my my goal, to introduce you this movement and match it with the exercises, and give you that exercise education, so you will have a better understanding of what is the concept of the biomechanic, anatomy, and the exercise. So if I want to just tell you about the other muscles, which is smaller, this is teres major. So this is Latissimus Dorsi, which is this big muscle. This is teres major, and this is also teres major. So if you look at here, this attached in the origin is on the scapula or the shoulder blade. As you see here, the shoulder blade, and the insertion is again on this bone, which is the humerus. So similar movements also this small muscle has, which is shoulder extension, shoulder adduction, shoulder medial or internal rotation. So this little muscle always assists the big muscles, Latissimus Dorsi, to all the exercises. So I hope this session also give you better idea about these big muscles. I'm sure those of you who are fan of the back muscles would like to know how you can develop and target and isolate these muscles better. I'm sure in my future video, when I go through the exercises, you will have better interest looking at them, because this is how the anatomy will help you to understand the body movements much better, and you can target your muscles easier. And of course, at the end, your safety should be first and first. Thank you for watching this video. Good luck.